What's going on, guys? I am Frank Wak, and my channel is about conventions. Anime, sci-fi, horror, comic book, any kind of fandom convention. Any place where nerds gather and get together and just be nerds. Because there's not enough time for that in the real world, and it sucks. I got started on YouTube 3 years ago now. I was working with my brother at GlitchCon, which is in Springdale, Arkansas. And my brother, he ran a blog and got tickets to go to GlitchCon and do a review blog for them for promotion and stuff. And so we came, and I'd been to GlitchCon before in the past because I'm a nerd and I go to all the cons in the area. But we came together, and I'm a really big fan of anime, I'm a really big fan of video games, and Vic Mignogna and Kyle LeBear were the two main attraction guests for this convention. And I love a good multitude of their work. And so I really wanted to get a moment and talk with them one-on-one. And I kept talking about it, I'm like, man, I would love to just sit down and talk with them. And finally my brother's like, well, why don't you just go interview them? Oh, that's a good idea. And so I quickly jotted down a bunch of questions. I went over to Kyle LeBear and I was like, hey, I'm with a blog. Can we do an interview? And he's like, sure, can we do it now? Yeah, totally. Where? And I scramble. I look around and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to do this interview because I didn't expect him to be like, let's go right now. Let's do it. And it was crazy. We ended up doing it in the technology room where the computers were set up at GlitchCon. And if you know the area at that Holiday Inn, it's a little computer room that's right next to everything else. And it's an open roof. So all the noise flooded in, and it's a horrible interview, and nobody could hear anything. But it's still up on my first video, and I had a great time with that interview. And I actually got to interview Kyle again for the second, and I have by far my favorite intro in all of my videos is that interview. And I had a wonderful time, and it was part of one of my favorite things I've ever done. And I started a YouTube channel with that. We'll play a clip of it right here.
Last time on Wak Interviews Kyle LeBear, he has no idea what he's doing as he only asked me about Street Fighter. The sound is absolute garbage, so you don't get to hear him ask me about Street Fighter. Will things be any better this time? Will he ask me anything in regards to the plethora of other characters I play? Or will he only ask me even more questions about Street Fighter? To find out, stay tuned to this exciting episode of Wak Interviews Kyle LeBear.
In a collaboration, I would love to bring people to their first cons. I would love to bring people to cons in general. I would love to learn more about their world if they're interested in introducing me to it. Whatever you do on YouTube, I would love to be a part of it. You can find all my links down in the description down below. I am Frank Wak, and I am and will maybe always be a Tulsa YouTuber.